Hi and welcome to Back to the Tactics Board with Edge of Play. In today's video we're looking at the 3-1-3-1 formation used in nine-a-side. We'll look at some of the features and also some of the issues you may face when trying to use this formation with your team. Here we have the players in the 3-1-3-1 then. Let's look at the features. Well, one of the real strengths is that you have width at the back and you have width in a more advanced area too. So these two lines give you that width, I mean these players can link up together, can almost take charge for that side of the pitch together as well, from a defensive or a deep sense and a more offensive or advanced area as well. To have two banks where they can both cover the width of the pitch, left, right and centre, from your attacking area to your defensive area as well, can be a real advantage. As your fullback is getting on the ball in these areas, in some formations where you sacrifice having more forward players to have more defenders, there can be no obvious options up the line without movement from your forward. This system does set yourself up for these pairs either side of the pitch to link up and work together down that side of the pitch. That can be in a defensive sense as well, with your wide player getting back in to support your fullback. It does kind of mirror the 11-a-side game for that reason. The idea of your defender and more attacking player on one side of the pitch working together in both attacking and defending. You have a solid defensive base in this system because you've got your back three, left, right and centre covered, and then you've got your deep midfielder whose role is very much to protect that defence, but also to link up with them when playing out from the back. With the support of your deep midfielder, the team can look to build possession and create those good angles of support either side. If you're looking at playing out from the back and you push your full-backs on and your central defender pulls to one side to receive from the goalkeeper there, your midfielder can drop into this area to get onto the ball as well, or just try and link up this group of players with their good positioning. When you do get on the ball in these deeper areas or in the midfield area, one of the bonuses can be you've got lots of forward passing options. You've got your attacking midfielder trying to get in the pockets of space, making good angles there. Your number 9 getting on the last player, on the last man and receiving the ball or moving in behind. And then your wide players, wide forwards, they can either be in these pockets of space here or offering real genuine advanced width as well. So lots of forward passing options in this system. We talk about having a strong central spine. You do have your 4 players up the pitch, but I think one of the real bonuses in this particular system is that it can move across as a unit, and if an opponent's trying to build possession and is playing left to right and right to left, it can shift across and cover the full width of the pitch relatively quickly. Whereas when you're in a bank of 2 at the back, or even a midfield sense as well, getting across back and forward, getting across the pitch left to right can be quite difficult if a team are trying to play that way. The deep midfielder can pull to one side to link up between the central defender and the fullback, and equally when they get on the turn they've got the option to the side and to the centre of the pitch by linking up with the wide midfielder and the central midfielder. Let's look at some of the challenges then in this system. Well, first of all, your number 5, your defensive midfielder, I talked about the strengths there for that player to link the play, protect the defence. Well, they can be quite isolated without the ball. They're on their own in this big middle area. So whilst there is width at the back and width in the attacking midfield areas, unless these wide midfielders or wingers, depending on how you play the system, are going to drop back in at times to support 5, or your attacking midfielder is going to get in and support 5, then 5 can be quite isolated. And they could have a large amount of space to cover in a small amount of time, especially in defensive transition, when your attacking midfielders may have all got forward to support your striker. A team could counter-attack, and if you're not careful, this defensive midfielder will have too much ground to cover and could be outnumbered. Whilst you have got the width, you do have, so it's the gap either side of your midfielder which will need to be dealt with, and that can cause indecision. If you're playing against a team that has a winger, then you don't want your fullback getting drawn into here to deal with a midfielder and then the ball getting played behind them and that player being on side to drive at them down the channel. So in that scenario, you're going to need your wide midfielder, your winger, your attacking mid to get into this area here to support 5. Otherwise 5's going to try and get a cross in here. If they don't make the challenge, or they're not successful in sending the opponent one way, and the opponent can get themselves from this area into here, all of a sudden they're getting a free shot off because there's no other midfielder in there. Alternatively, if it's a case of You know, if the fullback can get in there because they have no one else, then that's fine. That kind of frees up your number 7. So if the fullback is getting penned back there by an opponent, your attacking mid on the right here is going to need to get back in and work hard. Likewise on the other side, you have to get back in ultimately to try and shut down this space in front of your defence. Allows your defence to get across the pitch and try and be more compact on one side. So as long as you can switch into the 3-3-1-1 almost in those defensive moments, it can work well. I think you also need to be clear on the duties of number 8 as well. Are you allowing them just to stay up, or is it a case of 2 of these 3 can stay up, or 1 of these 3, depending on what's happened in the game at that moment? You know, it could be that 8's made a big run in behind here, and that's the last player you want to be getting in because they've got too much ground to cover. It could be though that on this side, wingers got to the byline, got the cross in and so on, team get it and counter-attack, you're expecting 8 to work back into this area. So I think clear defensive duties for these 3 players, because you certainly won't want all 3 of them up front with you forward when you're defending. So that balance as well, we were talking about your number 5 not being isolated before. Well, that can also be the case for your striker. You know, if 8 ends up dropping in too much, getting on the ball in here, and these guys end up pushing nice and wide and trying to get on the ball to give you width, all of a sudden your 9 can be in a large space all on their own. So you are looking for your number 8 to be able to link with your number 9 as much as possible. Now if they can do that, you've got these 3 players all looking to link with your striker, making runs from deep, which can be great for beating off sidelines. Then there's a real strength to this formation. These 3 are crucial really for the hard work they do in transition defensively, but also in an attacking sense, how they can work together to support your 9. You can get a real, you can have players arriving late in positions, making them very hard to track. The 3 as well can help with a press. When it's going to one side, they can get across and give good angles of support for your number 9, make it difficult. The downside to doing the press in this formation is because if the opponent does break that line with a pass, you have only got 1 central midfielder in this area, so you could be exposed then. So it's whether you want to take that risk of putting that pressure on high up, or you want to get your attacking midfield to drop almost and sit in front of your number 5, who can then pick up the angles of potential through balls. If you want to relate this formation to the 11-a-side game, you'd be looking at your 4-1-4-1 formation. That would make a lot of sense, and also your 4-2-3-1 as well. From an attacking sense, the whole idea that you're inside left and inside right with your number 10 and then your striker. The players would be well prepared for that system, I'd say, by using the 3-1-3-1 at 9-a-side. Thank you for watching this formation video. I do hope you found it useful. For more videos for 5-a-side, 7-a-side, 9-a-side and 11-a-side formations, go to the tactics section at www.edgeofplay.com.